Good evening, everyone. Sean Dotson here with The Flip Side. It's May 5th, 2018, and this is your Weekend Update. Good evening, everyone. Today is the 5th of May, otherwise known as Cinco de Mayo. Yes, that's the day where us Americans grab a bunch of Mexican beer and celebrate Mexico's independence. You know, Cinco de Mayo really is the celebration of Mexico's short-lived victory over France in the Battle of Puebla of 1862. But who cares? It's a great day to drink Mexican beer. Here's mine. Cheers. You know, speaking of conflicts, it appears that the war between the leaders of Cloud Cuckoo Land and Hogan's heroes at Harry's continues on, while those over at Thor remain Switzerland and those at Hod are still sucking down O2 and worshiping at the altar of Finn. And speaking of Hod, it appears this week that Dal Neitzel put out a new thread titled Not in Yellowstone. It appears that the whole synopsis of this thread was to discuss the slip-up in On the Road with Charlie interview with with Forrest Fenn, about Forrest Fenn stating that he hadn't been back up to Yellowstone since 1950. Well, we kind of all know that that was not really the truth, and that Forrest Fenn was actually talking about not spending an entire summer as a child up there since 1950. But I'm glad that Dal was sure to clear that all up for all the new searchers coming in. Thanks, Dal. Now this week over at Gypsy's Kiss, there was quite a bit of action going on, but it really centered about having Troy Barlow, otherwise known as Why Must I Go, on as the guest along with the panel. And Why Must I Go really went in depth on his whole theory about the treasure being about a proxy item. It was a very interesting theory, and if you haven't yet watched a Gypsy's Kiss panel this week on Wednesday, I suggest you go back and watch it. And if you want to know more about Why Must I Go's theory on the proxy item, you can also go to his YouTube channel titled Why Must I Go, and he does have a video on there about the proxy item and an update in there. So I highly suggest you go over to his YouTube channel and watch that so you can get an update on that. And also subscribe to Why Must I Go's channel if you haven't yet already, and like his videos. He's got some good information over there. Also this week, Cynthia Meacham put out on her blog a interesting article about leveling the playing field. She was really hinting about her interview with a code name Ralphie, or Ralph, who actually thought that Forrest Fenn slipped in an 8-hour interview with him this month, in which now Ralphie is packing his bags and leaving on a jet plane for the Yellowstone National Park area, and he's going to do the traditional, what I call newbie, jaunt up to the Yellowstone, Montana area. So, Ralphie, welcome to the club, and you'll be able to stamp your Forrest Fenn passport with now being up into the Yellowstone area. Now, on Jenny Kyle, Mysterious Writings this week, Jenny Kyle had a new featured question from Jay Diggins this week, and Forrest Fenn put in a kind of a picture in there of a antler that he had found at the San Lazaro Pueblo with some interesting cryptic marks in it, and really kind of ended up asking back to the search community if they could figure out what this was, if it was not some type of, cryptic language or something. Now, actually, I think Kyle Sandow, that guy, the YouTube channel, that guy actually brought out his Lost Kivas of San Lazaro Pueblo book again. So, Kyle, I just wanted to let you know I did go back out and check this out at the Farmington Library here, and just wanted to show everybody, again, kind of like he was showing, in there, they do show that piece of antler that Forrest was talking about and have some, the cryptic writing on there. And he also shows some other pictures of some of the other interesting writing that he found inside that kiva. Now, Kyle and everyone, and Jenny as well, I've kind of gone through the book here and flipped through here and read on some of this, but I I really personally couldn't make any kind of correlation to what I think Forrest is coming up with. And while I personally don't feel it has anything to do with the chase or will help you out in any way, it's definitely interesting, and I'm interested to hear what people are saying about it. Moving along. Now this week, Mike Cowlings with Calazars announced his coin contest winner. So I want to give some congratulations, if you don't already know this, to Illinois' Ghost, who came up with the winning selection out of many, many selections that came out. And if you haven't already seen these, this winning selection, I would highly suggest you go over to Calazar's YouTube channel, and he shows a short video of the winning selection, and has a couple of follow-on videos that talk about, you know, the size of the coin, the cost, and also how you can order this. There's been a lot of questions about people wanting to get certain numbers and those types of things, and I think Calazars is being very diplomatic in how he's going to do that. And so definitely go over to Calazar's website, or excuse me, his YouTube channel, and check out some of his videos on the coin contest and the selection. Some good stuff there. Now, speaking of Illinois' Ghost has currently put on his blog, not his YouTube channel, he also has a blog as well as a YouTube channel. He's got a new section called What's the Word? And this is where Forrest Fenn, you know, sends Illinois' Ghost a word for all the Fenn searchers. It's kind of a new word for us to obviously over-scrutinize and go into archaic meanings and go down rabbit holes trying to figure out. But this week, he came up with a word called crean, C-R-E-A-N. And those of you that don't already know, he actually put this word out back in Mysterious Writings in 2014, and then went into a short description of what that word meant to him back in those days. And if I recall correctly, it talked about the position that a car's frame gets in where they can no longer open their doors, as they called it a crean. So you might go over to Illinois' Ghost site or his blog and look at some of the discussion about that. I think there's some good information there. And also go back to Jenny's site, Mysterious Writings, back to 2014, where he also had talked about that word. Moving right along. Also this week, an interesting video put out by Enterprise Rent-A-Car came out, and the video was titled Hidden Treasure. And it was a short video about the Acosta family, which is a father and son, going out and searching for Forrest Fenn's treasure in Colorado. Very well put together video, very nice. I really liked it because it really talks about the spirit of the thrill of the chase, of just getting out there with family and enjoying the scenery, and while you're out there, just using your imagination and sense of adventure to go out there and look for Forrest Fenn's treasure. So I really just wanted to give some kind of props to Enterprise Rent-A-Car for doing a good job. A lot of people are on top of them for some kind of shameless, you know, plugs and kind of taking advantage of it, but I don't mind. I think it's pretty good, and I like it because it's really in the spirit of the thrill of the chase about trying to get people out there and into Mother Nature. And heck, while you're at it, you might as well rent a car, right? So good job for Enterprise, I think. Moving right along, and I'm moving on to some of the vloggers this week. Good old Bill Gorman, the elephant in the room. So it seems like Bill was kind of upset this week, and he was talking about privatizing all his videos, or setting them to private, until he got 1,000 subscribers. That's a lot of subscribers, Bill, and I wish you luck in that. And kind of what I was suggesting is you might want to tier that, you know, maybe hopefully get to 500 subscribers, you know, release a few of those, you know, mammoths, so to speak, in those videos and get them out there. But meanwhile, he's trapping a bunch of mice that keep getting through the holes of his RV. You might want to plug up those holes there, Bill. Now this week, Man Alone released 100 more videos this week. Just kidding, Man Alone. He did release a lot of videos, but definitely not that many. But there was one that I found that was really good, and it was titled About the Thrill of the Chase, A Different Perspective. And I thought Man Alone did a really good job of kind of talking about the correlation to the book and our overemphasis on things in the book and not necessarily focusing on the poem. So I wanted to tell Man Alone, I think you did a great job on there. And I find it really interesting that we have a very experienced metal detector, you know, putting out some videos and providing some really good perspective. So Man Alone, I really appreciate what you do as far as you know, metal detecting and talking about that and providing some good information. And it's good coming from, you know, some of your perspective, kind of like Calazar's too, as people that haven't really put boots on the ground searching for Forrest Fenn's treasure. And please, you know, Matt Alone, correct me if I'm wrong that you haven't, but getting a perspective from those that really haven't been boots on the ground is good, because there's things that those of us who put a lot of searches out there that we forget about. So it's good getting that perspective. Now moving along to It Is What It Is Productions, IIWII Productions. This is a little known YouTuber out there that does some Forrest Fenn videos. But this week he really did a really interesting one called Forrest Fenn's Treasure Chest Sim. And sim for simulation. He did like this 4-part series about, and I don't know his name, but he put together a mock treasure chest with a bunch of coins in it, and he kind of hid it along a trail, and he really showed to us how difficult it is to find something that could be camouflaged so well. And I thought it was a great simulation, or a great job by him of kind of showing that, because it's, and I'm sure a lot of you have kind of thought of this, and I think Man in the Barn also made kind of like a mock treasure, you know, to see what it weighed and stuff like that. But this guy did an excellent job of kind of hiding it and showing us how difficult it really is to find that. I think he did a really good job, and definitely props to you. And you know, if you haven't watched some of his videos, go over there and watch him. Again, it's IIWII Productions, also known as It Is What It Is Productions. And I think he does a good job. Pretty funny guy. I recommend you go over there and watch him and subscribe to him. Next, I want to go on to Finn Treasure Hunter. This week, he did a really good video on a boots on the ground. And it was him, you know, traveling from his home there in El Paso to the Santa Fe area, and then showing us, you know, kind of a glimpse of his boots on the ground journey. I really thought it funny, you know, when he was jamming out to the different, you know, music that he was listening to on his trip. So I thought that was pretty cool. Good job with your video, and keep them coming. I really like listening to you. Good job on the Rubik's Cube too. I think I threw one of those things when I was about 12 years old. I could never figure that thing out. I would take it apart or remove the stickers. So props to you. I just don't have the patience for a puzzle like that. Now there's been a couple of new what I call Finn tubers out there, and I just want to mention them, and so that maybe some of you guys know about them and go check out their videos and subscribe to them. The first one is a guy by the name of Rodney Greenway, and he does you know, some videos, and he's got some really good insight. I don't know if he's ever had boots on the ground. I don't know how long he's been in the chase. And maybe, Rodney, you can do a short video kind of introducing yourself to all the everybody out there in the you know, the search community, and tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the search. I think that would be great. But definitely go over and check out Rodney Greenway's YouTube videos. He's got about 3 of them up there right now, and he's got some really good insight. I like listening to him. Pretty sharp guy. Another guy that's out there is called An Average Person. He's got 3 videos out there, and he does a pretty good job. Very articulate in how he presents himself. He does some really quick, you know, wardrobe exchanges, which we kind of laugh about. But smart guy, articulates himself very well. He also kind of falls in line with Why Must I Go as far as the proxy item that could possibly be out there. So definitely some interesting take on the treasure hunt. Another new one is the Odious Soul, also named Shannon, and she's new to the search. In her first video, she did a really good job of introducing herself and telling us all how she got into the chase, and really going into, you know, her first solve and bringing things up. So I think, Shannon, welcome to the community. I think you did an excellent job of putting your video together. I hope you like this video. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will catch you all on the flip side. Happy Cinco de Mayo.